This is the Conversationalist. Let's converse. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I am excited to introduce my new series, which is called Know the Difference. And in this series, of course, I'm going to be discussing a few English words that might look the same, might sound the same, but they'll have completely different meanings. Right, so as always, enjoy the scenery, and I hope you can learn something today. So listen to this sentence and see if you understand. The veterinarian went to the vegetarian restaurant. Right, of course. I'm sure you know what that means. So they sound quite similar, but people do confuse these two words. A veterinarian, or for short, a vet, is an animal doctor, of course. I'm taking my dog to the vet, right? I'm taking my dog to the veterinarian. So mostly native English people would use vet instead of veterinarian. And vegetarian, of course, when you don't eat meat, right? The increasingly getting more popular these days, vegetarianism, of course, the practice of not eating any meat. All right, let's have a look at another one. And I have to say, I am enjoying this series because it feels like it's a better way to learn. Instead of just learning vocabulary, it's better to compare words, and then it will make it a lot easier to remember. So the next one that I want to look at is advice versus advise. Alright, so they sound very similar, of course. The one is a S and the one is a Z sound, right? Advice and advise. And advice, of course, being the noun. Right? Advice is the noun. That is the thing that someone gives you. He gives you advice about something. Advise is the verb. So, will you please advise me on what to do next? Right? You're asking for advice. So advice is the noun and advise is the verb. I think with this one, even some native speakers might be confused sometimes. It is the difference between loose and lose. Of course, you can see the spelling on the bottom of the screen. And when you look at the word lose, that is when you lose at a competition, or you lose some kind of match, right? You lost. You are busy losing. Or the next one, which is loose, of course, is about, it means it's opposite of tight. Tight. You have if the shirt is too small, then the shirt is very tight. But if the shirt is too big, then the shirt is too loose. It sits too loose on your body. Right, lose and loose. The next one that I want to discuss can be a little bit more difficult, maybe, but not really. Just focus. The words that I want to look at are further and farther. So the one is kind of a metaphorical or a figurative distance, when the other one is a literal distance. For example, if you look at farther, that is the physical distance. For example, my house is farther away from the ocean than your house. For example, right? It's a physical distance. Whereas further is, you can use it, you have never been further from my mind. So it means I don't think about you anymore. You are far from my mind. You have never been further from my mind. Of course. Further, farther. And that brings us to the end of the first episode of Know the Difference. So as you saw, there are quite a few words that can be quite confusing, right? And they can be important in a conversation someday. So try to remember these words and wait for the next episode. There will be quite a few episodes in this series, as there are many words that can sound and look the same. That can be very confusing. All right, so have a good day. See you next time.